I also think, and I don't mean to get into Tom Brady's personal life, but I feel like we've got a window to it because of the Tom versus time, and because Giselle is also a public figure.
They're both public
or else
figures.
otherwise I wouldn't feel comfortable saying this. And Giselle's made it clear she's been in Tom's ear for a long time about retirement. And if your partner has been saying for a long time, I don't want you to do this anymore, and you have to go to them and say, not only am I going to keep doing it, but we're moving. I think the where we're moving to has a big impact on if the response is, the hell we are, or, okay. And I feel like with LA, even though I think her preference is stay with the Pats or just retire, you have nothing more to prove, and they don't really appreciate you in New England the way they should. Her response to LA is so different than Indianapolis, Tampa, Tennessee, these other places, because she has to worry about her career and her own superstardom as well. And by the way, they got a home there. And by the way, Los Angeles is a gorgeous place. I was lucky enough to live there for 16 months. It ain't bad. What people are saying about it, it's true if you've never lived in Southern California. So to me, it checks every box. And oh yeah, by the way, the Chargers need a reason for people to buy tickets to their new stadium. Right now, they don't have it. If you're doing a power rankings of interest in LA after Hollywood, Lakers, Dodgers, USC football, the Rams, how far down the list before you get to the Chargers? For all those reasons, to me, all signs all year have been pointing, if he leaves, the Chargers are the destination that makes the most sense.
I think you're absolutely right about it, checking every box. You're talking about the home in L.A., the family situation. You're talking about the organization. You're also talking about the skill set of the players that he will have around him, which is exactly what they really wanted in New England. Even with all that being said, I still think that Tom finds his way back to the Patriots. And here's the reason why. I think that Bill Belichick and that ownership group, they understand they're going to have to put players around a quarterback no matter who that quarterback is. Even though, let's just say you go get a rookie guy or a backup guy, Stidham. Even if you have him there, you're going to have to put players around him. Why wouldn't you want to go back to the guy that has been the greatest player in your franchise history if you're going to have to fill those positions already anyway? And so I think that if I'm the Patriots, I absolutely want Tom Brady back. And if I'm Tom Brady, I don't know that changing a team, changing an entire organization, going outside of what I've been comfortable with for the last 19 seasons is the way to go in your 20th year when your skill set has eroded just a little bit.
What do we know is woven into Tom Brady's DNA more than anything else? Winning. It's what he knows. It's what he does. You ask yourself, will the Chargers give him a chance to actually get back to the Super Bowl? Well, you know the Patriots will always give you a chance every year.
I don't know that I agree with that. If he thinks he's still excellent, and I'm sure he thinks he is, I think he looks at this year as an organizational failure more than a Tom Brady failure. And everyone talks, just quickly here, we talk about the Patriots adding more weapons for him. I think they will address the tight end position. That was a huge miss. I don't know how you have the greatest tight end ever arguably walk away and you do nothing about it. But does it seem very Belichickian? 2 years ago, he spends a first-round pick on a running back. Last year, he spends a first-round pick on a wide receiver. This year, he spends a second-round pick to acquire a wide receiver. He's now going to spend more capital, either draft or salary cap dollars, to get more offensive weapons when it had been a decade since he spent a first-round pick on a running back. It had been 25 years since he spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver. It would just seem very un-Patriot-like and un-Belichick-like to this offseason, even if they bring Brady back, be like, and by the way, we're trading for Odell, so now we're going to have all. Right. It doesn't seem like that's their history.
Unpatriotic?
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's what I should have said. I like it.
On to the Chiefs now, and to steal a page out of my guy Nick's playbook, I'm old enough to remember a time when the Chiefs stormed back from 24-0 to beat the Texans last week.
Old enough to remember the last time they were in the Super Bowl, too, Jenna.
That's true, Patrick. That's actually not true. That's not true at all.
She didn't get it at first.
No, and I take offense to it. Patrick Mahomes was as dialed in as he's been all season long, leading his guys to a 51-31 blowout. You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I liked it.
But despite putting Kansas City on his back, listen to what he had to say when asked about leadership on this team.
But I think that's the great thing about this team is that I'm not the only leader on this team. There's leaders all across the board at every single position group, all around the team, offense, defense, and special teams. But what I rely on is just going out there and competing. No matter what the score is, winning or losing, I'm going to give my best effort on every single play. That's how I've been. That's how I was raised. And that's how this team kind of flows.
All right, Brian, does Patrick Mahomes need to play like the MVP for the Chiefs to beat Tennessee this weekend?
Yeah, I think Tennessee's a very good team. I think they're solid. I think they are aggressive defensively. But I don't think that Patrick Mahomes has to play like an MVP to beat them. They have a bunch of weapons offensively. And so if Travis Kelce catches a 5-yard pass, he can take it 75. Same thing with Tyreek Hill and really the whole list of receivers and playmakers that you have. So those types of passes, because of their ability at those skill positions, you don't have to be special from Patrick Mahomes, who I think really has to play like an MVP or more so coach like an MVP is Steve Spagnuolo. How does he turn this into a quarterback game? How does he turn it into Patrick Mahomes versus Ryan Tannehill? If he can do that, then that changes the entire tempo of the game. That's going to take Derrick Henry out of the game completely. And so if you're Steve Spagnuolo, the only thing that you're worried about is trying to find a way to stop the running game of the Tennessee Titans. And I'm not so worried about Patrick Mahomes trying to play like the MVP. I just think he has to be good. And I think the guys around him are good enough to beat this Tennessee Titan team.
We've never in Patrick Mahomes' NFL career, him when fully healthy play a bad game. So let's just assume he's going to, we've seen him have bad starts. Hell, the AFC Championship game last year, they didn't score a point for the first half of the game. We've seen him have slow starts. We've seen him obviously make some mistakes. But as far as at the end of the game, look at his numbers, look at what he did. The only time in his career where he had, it's like, wait, what happened there? It was when he was dealing with that ankle injury early in the season, and he couldn't plant on his throws and couldn't get it out on the edges where he's so dangerous. So I'm going to take it as a given he's going to play a good game. I don't think he needs the type of performance that he had in the second half against New England in last year's AFC Championship game in the comeback against Tennessee or against the Texans to beat Tennessee. I agree with Brian. I think let's just assume Patrick Mahomes plays an average Patrick Mahomes game. What else do you need? You just need to make sure Derrick Henry is not going to become what he is on pace to become, which is the greatest running back ever. Like, people are wondering why I'm so confident in the Chiefs' ability to win this game. A lot of it is because I think Derrick Henry is an excellent player. Right now, the best running back in football. But he is playing like he is the greatest running back ever. And I just don't think that is sustainable over a full month of football, all in must-win games. Now, if he does, to get back to your question, then yeah, then Patrick's going to have to take advantage of every possession, no 3-and-outs, every third down, because you're going to have limited possessions, because Tennessee will find a way to manufacture at least 24, if not 28 points. But I don't think that's how this game goes. I think Patrick Mahomes can play a fine game by his standards. 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and the Chiefs can still be in great shape. It should be noted, though, Brian, the last time these two teams played, even though the Chiefs lost, Patrick Mahomes did play like an MVP. He threw for 450, 3 touchdowns, 120 passer rating. He was sensational, and Tennessee is going to have to greatly adjust what they do defensively to try to account for that. And I think they look at it as our only real way to stop Patrick Mahomes is to keep him off the field, and that's where the Derrick Henry factor comes in. I just don't think Derrick Henry is going to average 185 yards for the playoffs against the opponents and the defenses that he's going to have gone up against.
The question if you're Tennessee, and really for the Chiefs is if he gets 150, now are you trying to sell out to try to stop the run, and then he throws the ball over top of your head with Ryan Tannehill, who's been accurate as a passer. He hasn't put up a bunch of yards because they haven't needed him to.
Right. Are you confident Tannehill can go out there and do that?
I think he can, but